There's someone in your life, maybe a coworker, a classmate, a friend of a friend, and something feels a little different about the way they act around you. They don't flirt the way other people do. They don't say a lot, but there's something there. You can feel it, you just can't quite name it. If that sounds familiar, there's a good chance you're dealing with an introvert who likes you. Because here's the thing. Introverts don't show interest the way movies and TV taught us attraction is supposed to look. They're not going to walk up to you with a big smile and tell you they think you're amazing. But that doesn't mean the signals aren't there. They're just quieter, more layered. And once you know what to look for, they're actually hard to miss. Today, we're breaking down 7 subtle signs an introvert secretly likes you, and the psychology behind why they show up the way they do. Sign number 1, they remember the details. Introverts are, by nature, deep processors. They don't skim conversations. They absorb them. So when an introvert likes you, they tend to hold on to things you've said, sometimes things you've completely forgotten about yourself. You mention offhand that you've always wanted to visit a specific place, and 3 weeks later, they bring it up. You say you're stressed about something minor, and they actually follow up on it the next time they see you. This isn't accidental. Psychologist Elaine Aron, who pioneered research on highly sensitive and introverted personalities, found that introverts tend to process experiences more thoroughly than extroverts. They naturally go deeper. And when someone captures their interest, that depth gets directed at everything connected to that person. So if an introvert seems to have a mental archive of your life, your preferences, your stories, the small things you've mentioned in passing, that's not them being strange. That's them being genuinely invested in you. Sign number 2, they choose to be around you even in silence. Introverts are deeply selective about who they spend their energy on. Social interaction costs them something. It's not that they dislike people. It's that being around people, especially in unstructured or noisy settings, is genuinely draining for the introverted nervous system. So when an introvert repeatedly puts themselves in your proximity, that is a choice, a deliberate one. What makes this sign subtle is that they don't necessarily need the interaction to be filled with conversation. An introvert who likes you might just show up. They sit near you. They stay a little longer than they need to. They're okay with comfortable silence in a way they're not with other people. That shared quiet isn't disinterest. For an introvert, being willing to just exist in your space is one of the most honest forms of connection they know how to offer. Sign number 3, they open up in small, careful increments. Introverts guard their inner world. They're not secretive in a deceptive way. They're just deeply private. They don't share personal things casually or with just anyone. So when an introvert starts letting you in, slowly, piece by piece, pay attention. That's significant. It might start small. A personal opinion they don't usually share. A story from their past they mention almost cautiously, watching to see how you receive it. An admission about something they care about. Each one of those moments is a test of sorts. Not a manipulation, but a genuine checking of whether you're safe to be vulnerable around. Brené Brown's research on vulnerability tells us that people open up in layers, and those layers move faster with people they feel a connection to. For introverts specifically, this process is slower and more deliberate than average. If they're doing it with you, it means you've earned something real. Sign number 4, their body language shifts when you're around. Introverts tend to carry themselves in a contained way. They don't take up a lot of physical space. Their body language is usually closed, calm, measured. But when someone they like walks into the room, something changes. And it often happens before they've said a single word. They might turn their body toward you even in a group setting. Their eye contact, which introverts are usually very deliberate about, becomes a little more sustained when it lands on you. They uncross their arms. They lean in slightly when you talk. These are things they probably aren't consciously controlling. The body tends to tell the truth even when the person isn't ready to. Nonverbal communication researcher Albert Mirabian found that a significant portion of how we communicate our emotional states comes through body language rather than words. For introverts who choose their words so carefully, the body often ends up being the more honest messenger. Sign number 5. They get a little awkward specifically around you. This one surprises people, but it makes a lot of sense when you understand it. Introverts are generally composed. They're measured and thoughtful in most social situations. But introduce a person they have feelings for, and that composure can start to crack in small, almost endearing ways. They might lose their train of thought mid-sentence. They might laugh a little too quickly at something you said. They over-explain something simple or go unusually quiet right after an easy conversation. They seem almost more nervous with you than with a room full of strangers. And that's exactly the point. Psychologically, this happens because they care about how they come across to you. The stakes feel higher. And for someone who normally processes so carefully before speaking, the presence of heightened emotion can disrupt that internal system. The awkwardness isn't a bad sign. It's actually evidence of how much they feel. Sign number 6. They text differently with you. Introverts, as a rule, are not big texters. They don't do small talk well over messages. They don't maintain surface-level digital conversations, and they tend to go quiet when there's nothing meaningful to say. So if you've noticed that an introvert is actually texting you, consistently, thoughtfully, sometimes out of nowhere, that's worth noticing. More specifically, pay attention to the quality of what they send. Are they sharing things, articles, songs, something they saw that reminded them of you? Are their messages longer and more considered than what they send other people? Do they actually keep conversations going instead of letting them die with a one-word reply? That effort means something. For an introvert, choosing to reach out when they could just as easily sit in comfortable solitude is a quiet but real declaration of interest. Sign number 7. They protect your energy, not just their own. This last one is the most telling of all. Introverts spend a lot of energy thinking about the comfort of others, especially people they care about. When an introvert likes you, you'll notice they start to advocate for your peace almost instinctively. They notice when you seem overwhelmed and don't push for your attention. They remember that you mentioned not liking a certain kind of situation and they factor that in. They check on you in quiet ways, not loudly or publicly, but in small, private gestures that show they've been paying attention. This behavior is rooted in empathy and investment. They're not just thinking about what they want from you. They're thinking about what's good for you. And that distinction between someone who pursues you and someone who actually considers you is one of the most meaningful differences in how people show genuine affection. So if you're sitting with this and recognizing someone in your life, here's what I want to leave you with. Introverts love quietly. They don't announce it, they don't perform it. But when they choose you completely and deliberately. Every sign on this list is something they are doing in spite of the part of them that would rather stay safely behind their walls. That takes courage that often goes completely unrecognized. If someone in your life is showing you these signs, consider meeting them halfway. Sometimes all they need to know is that the door is open. Thanks for watching. If this gave you something to think about, share it with someone who might need to hear it. And I'll see you in the next one.